What's up, everybody? I'm back with more Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's been a minute. And it got at least 2 solo gates that I've been wanting to get through. So we got X-Sabers and the other one being probably like a zombie theme, more than likely. Cursed Golden Land. So if you like this video and you want to see more content like this, please leave a like, share this with your friends. It would greatly appreciate it. It helps me out and the channel as well. So anyway, let's hop right into it, because I used to love X-Saber cards, but you know, they had like a decent amount of cards support that you can build like a decent deck with, but not exactly my favorite anymore. I used to love it like way back in the day. I mean, there's still stuff cool about it, but it just, I don't know, after so many new cards that came, you know, much later, and all the, you know, there's certain archetypes that kind of like fell off. The Sword of Will, X-Saber. Invasive creatures called worms have come drifting through space, eating other stars. An alliance of justice called the Ally of Justice was founded to kill them. The 4 groups at the heart of Ally of Justice: Disciples of the mighty ice dragon, the Ice Barrier. Rulers of a hazy valley, the Mist Valley. Burning everything clad in flame, the Flame Veil. And the former mercenary group, the X-Saber. By the way, I, starting to work on building some gems so I can start buying some new cards, because I'm gonna start building some legit decks after I got through with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains series and did my reviews on each season, which is on the channel. Check it out. I really want to start building a proper Varus deck, tweak some stuff with the Playmaker deck, and then the Soul Burner deck. And I do want to work on an eye deck as well, but there's still a couple of things I want to do for my Jack Atlas deck and Yusei Fudo deck, and you know, some Jade. I got a decent Jaden Yugi deck, but I also found like I can make some decent Astro Phoenix deck, so I gotta tweak some stuff with the Elemental Hero stuff and Destiny Hero stuff. As the war against the worms progressed, X-Saber were put in a pinch. Some worms became smarter, and instead of attacking in numbers, formed swarms that coordinated their attacks. Many were wounded by the mobilized enemy, and many elite fighters were injured in battle. Some went right back into battle, with machine prosthesis before their wounds even healed. To turn the tide of battle, a new strategy was needed. X-Saber leader Commander Godum's Swordmaster was building a new strategy while comparing the past with the now. This is the X-Saber base. The X-Sabers have an altar that imbues their weapons with great power. He is reminded of the owner of a single sword that has been struck into the ground here. The sword belonged to Godum's. However, it once belonged to another individual. Long before the attack of the worms, an age where each of the groups were feuding for power, there was a mercenary group, X-Saber, that was founded by one man. The man at the center of it was X-Saber Salza. He cut down many enemies with his two swords. His skill was highly regarded by others. There were many drifters who did not have land or family to protect. They all threw themselves into battle with them to survive the war. Gotems was one such drifter. Gotems thought more highly of Salza than anyone else. The strength and charisma to lead the crude and fearless mercenaries. On the other hand, Gotems also saw Salza's shortcomings. He was wild and ruthless, and did not hesitate to sacrifice men for victory. Even as a group formed for survival, there are times when you must care about the conditions of these soldiers. As soon as Gotem joined the mercenaries, he did his best to display his worth to the group. He became Salza's right-hand man and took on the role of connecting Salza to his men. The aggressive Salza was able to create such a powerful army not only because of his absolute power, but also due to the tenacity of Gotems acting as a buffer and shaping the organization. The group needed two things to maintain balance. However, Gotem's contribution to the group leads to it splitting off between ones that follow Salza and ones that are loyal to Gotems. Gotems was a loyal second in command to the aggressive Salza. More and more people started to regard him as their leader. Some have even openly spoken to him to lead the group instead of their reckless leader. What will happen to us if we are divided as a group in the midst of this war? The smaller factions will be eaten alive and soon disappear. However, Gotems barely tolerated Salza's temperament, but Salza's powerful spirit and commitment to lead the group into battle was something he admired. The two factions seemed calm on the surface, but the dissent only grew over time. If this were to continue, it would spell disaster. While tensions grew higher within the group, an incident occurred. During a mission, Salza disappeared. Gotems and his men looked for him but found only one of his swords. The blade was still sharp, and there were no other signs of battle in the area. In other words, he left one of his sword and disappeared without a trace. With no clues to find, Gotems abandoned the search. Gotems was faced with another big decision. How can the group survive without Salza, its spiritual pillar? X-Saber cards are notable for their battle-related effects and effects that assist with deploying monsters. Okay. I'm going with my Raid Raptor cards. This card is attacked by opponent's monster. I'm running out of options. Great. Having no luck with my links. I mean, not my link. So now I get a rank 4 thing. Like, where were you like a turn ago? Thanks. Oh crap! Crap! I'm thinking about adding it to my hand, and it's not how it goes. I'm already flopped. Send it into the graveyard, not to my hand. Okay. It's the end of the world and you know it. The impact of losing X-Saber Salsa was immense. But they fought together and went through good and bad times together. If this group were to fall apart now, more would die. So Gautam's assumed leadership of the group that Salsa left behind, to pause what Salsa had built and pass on the group to the next generation. Later, Gautam became the new commander of the mercenary group X-Saber, a band of mercenary ruffians. We must transform into a band of swordsmen that work together to improve our skills, and we fight with spirit. Gautam was determined. He nominated 10 elite swordsmen, each in charge of leading a handful of soldiers that wins and leaves no one behind. Some left the group due to these reforms, but Gautam didn't blame those who did. Many decided to stay, and thus the group was reborn. With Gautam in command, X-Saber Urbellum took his side. With these talented soldiers, X-Saber grew to become the largest on the continent. He established a base and even rules over the entire region. There were times in the past when we had to remobilize due to the change in battle. Same can be said about now. They developed new tactics and techniques to resist the worms that have evolved to become more organized on top of their strength. Gautam handpicked a selection of elite agents once again. He urged his soldiers to use equipment with the newest technology and plan coordinated attacks using skills cultivated in the Ally of Justice. Some of the 10 elite soldiers had been a part of the group. Some had joined anew, but all were the best in the field. The two X's work together in battle. The two X's multiplies the power of X. To push this idea forward, Gautam changed the name of the group to X-Saber, or Double X-Saber, and confront the worms. Thus began a new battle of those who inherit the spirit of the sword. Okay. First Golden Land. There was once a gem of profound wisdom. The Philosopher's Stone was the ultimate aspiration of alchemists, the zenith of their ambitions. Once upon a time, many moons ago, famed alchemists from various lands gathered on a desolate island. There, they began studying the stone. This kind of feels like Werewolf by Night right now. Decoding ancient manuscripts, they sought its secrets. The ingredients were mercury, sulfur, salt, and the corpses of animals. But gradually, the focus shifted from the lifeless to the living. Domestic animals like cattle and pigs, even wild creatures of all kinds, were given up in sacrifice. As a result, they finally managed to create what they believed to be the core of the Philosopher's Stone. They rejoiced, believing they'd taken the first step. But that elation was fleeting. Their progress stalled. Leaving them bewildered, why does further progress elude us? We have all the ingredients. The incantations were spoken correctly. The rituals performed without error. Days of unyielding rituals and sacrifices passed, yet the stone remained unchanged. Then one day, a human corpse was washed ashore on the edge of the alchemist's island. The Philosopher's Stone had long been silent, yet those washed up human remains, deep down, the alchemists knew what the stone required, a dreadful possibility they pushed to the recesses of their minds. The thought of using humans in the crafting of the Philosopher's Stone. So basically is Full Metal Alchemist. That would be an act that would doom them as heretics, but their desires overpowered their restraint. Soon after offering the body, the stone started pulsating faintly. The alchemists were ecstatic at the incredible achievement. Little did they know, the corpse still held a breath of life. From that moment, the Philosopher's Stone began its metamorphosis. They went further, sacrificing slaves and criminals until they successfully created an object known as the Dark Elixir. The Elixir hunger knew no bounds, from slaves to commoners to nobility. All were consumed. Day after day, human lives were offered, and the stone began to radiate. A blinding white light, the alchemist, now completely under its thrall, offered up lives without hesitation, feeding the elixir's insatiable hunger. Absorbing the essence of human life, the stone, stained a deep crimson hue, finally awakened. The unleashed power of the elixir spread curses born from human desires for life, wealth, and might. Soon, it transformed its surroundings into gold in a ploy to obtain more offerings. Whispers of a golden island soon began circulating among sailors. The legend spread to neighboring realms, and treasure seekers flocked to the island, lured by promises of riches. Little did they realize that they were simply moths drawn to the elixir's flame. Now it's practically turned into like an Uncharted story. Aldrich's decks are characterized by Aldrich the Golden Lord and their tactical flexibility thanks to a variety of supporting spell and trap cards. I tried using this deck combined with like the Vendread cards, but it didn't work for me. But I think it's better used to combine with the vampire decks. Um, I'll go Kaiba or Kite. I'll go with Kite. Okay. Uh, no, that's not gonna work. It then went with the Galaxy Eyes deck. Play it smart. Amidst a raging storm, I saw an island shining brilliantly. From the accounts of the astounded sailors, tales of the Golden Island spread. From pirates who heard the rumors, the conquering armies from distant seas. The curse of the elixir indiscriminately poured onto all living things. Gold, as they say, is forever. Due to the curse of the elixir, bodies do not decay, instead turning into mindless undead. Many humans were sent to the island to bring back its glorious treasures, never to return. Over time, the island became a fairy tale spoken of in taverns, often called the City of No Return, or Cursed Outland. Once again, a new group of soon-to-be victims landed on the island. Scholars from a distant kingdom have been sent to investigate the island, with mercenaries to protect them. But among the mercenaries, one man was unlike the others. He was quiet and reserved, but had formidable strength, and in his eyes gleamed an unshakable will. He battled the beast of the island, and the wretched and cursed undead. Relentlessly, silently, he pressed forward, cutting each of them down. When he finally reached the castle gates and looked back, no one else remained. They were swallowed by the curse of gold? Perhaps he himself had unknowingly cut them down after they had turned into undead. He no longer had employers to protect. Nevertheless, he entered the castle. Inside, there were no sign of life. In the basement, he found a magical red stone floating menacingly in the air. Although he had no knowledge of alchemy, he understood just by looking at it that it was the source of the island's curse. He reached out and touched the stone. Suddenly, he heard the screams of the thousands of souls it had absorbed. "No, I don't want to die. I hate them all, every single human alive. Gold. Look at all that gold. Money, money, money." Yet, even when exposed to these desires, his soul did not waver. With his strong ego, he released the immense greed he had kept hidden and swallowed the malevolent desires whole. On that day, Aldrich, the Golden Lord, was born into the world. It makes one wonder why there was a throne in an ownerless castle. Perhaps the elixir itself had long intended such a human to visit the island one day. Now the new ruler of the Golden Land sat upon the throne as if it had been his all along. How much time has passed since he first sat there? For the unwavering Golden Lord, the concept of time is meaningless. People hearing rumors of the Golden Land continued to visit the island, and all were sacrificed to the elixir. The Golden Lord desired more. More power, more wealth, and more life. More wars, more victories, and more desires. As if answering the roar of his soul, the elixir's throne mysteriously. The Golden Lord, with all the Eldland's dark power concentrated within him, became a mad demon king and began to expand his reach to the outside world. People are still unaware of the peril that approaches, cloaked in glittering gold. And then one more to complete like the solo mode thing and play around with Kaiba deck. I've been reading a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga recently, and it's really got me like, you know, nostalgic for like classic Yu-Gi-Oh. After this, I'll end the video so I can hop back onto some more Borderlands. I still don't got no curse of, sorry, the Fang of Critias. and not many support for the X-Saber stuff. I guess you can combine it with the face card warriors. But anywho, that's all I wanted to do today with this game. I'll be back in a little bit. Probably the next time I make a video like this, I will have like a decent amount of gems so I can start like buying some more cards. It's probably gonna be like the week of my birthday when I get around to do it, but that week I'm taking a break from streaming for the most part, depending on something that might come up. But for the most part, I'm gonna take a like a bit of a mini vacation from streaming that week, just to collect myself a bit and come back refreshed. Hopefully before then I'll have the FF7 Rebirth game walkthrough completed. Speaking of, I'll be back playing that tomorrow. But anyway, I'll see you guys in a little bit for more Borderlands. But if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and I'll see you all soon.